All right, so we're talking about hips, pain, and potential surgery. I'm going to look at the right hip again first, okay? It's the left hip that she wants to know about. Um, Remind me, how long has the hip been painful?
It started last July,
Okay.
June, and then it was real bad, I would say, till September. Then totally gone until 3 weeks ago when I walked the big dog and he jerked me all over. And it wasn't level ground. It was out in the golf course. And so that's when it kicked up again.
And have you had any imaging?
I have not.
Okay. And what have I told you about your hip so far?
I forget.
Okay, that's fine.
Now let me think here. You said perhaps it's a little bit of mild arthritis and the muscles around it are not strong enough.
Yeah,
Does that sound like what you said?
that sounds good. So if you had imaging, so we would do an x-ray first. And then it would very likely show mild to moderate arthritis. There's a chance it could be wrong and it could show severe. And there's no cutoff of what it takes to have surgery. They're more likely to recommend it when it's severe, but sometimes severe arthritis and there's mild pain. Sometimes it's mild arthritis and severe pain.
Mhm.
It's more about what you feel than what we see. Now, if there's nothing seen, then it may need, we need to second guess ourselves. But as long as we see some type of arthritis and the pain is persistent, you think it's worth it, surgery's a good idea. The question is there any other better ideas that we can do? Or can we avoid it? The nice thing is there's no definite right or wrong answer. This isn't we need to take this out, otherwise it'll spread, like cancer or something, right? That would be it's still your choice, but there's definitely a wrong answer there, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's all about symptoms. If you talk to a surgeon, typically they'll say, well, it'll only get worse. Well, the only people that get worse are the ones that go back and see them, right? The people that don't get worse are the ones that don't go back and see them. The people that get better are the ones that are with me, the people that get worse are the ones that see them. And some people's do get worse, some people, like yours did, it went away after a few months. Well, this one will go away again after a few months. Very likely, what will happen is that it will get a little better, maybe all the way better, but then something may trigger it again in the future. And so it's somewhat managing it throughout life. I could be wrong, you may go away and never come back. I mean, is that a possibility? I'd be lying to you if I said it wasn't, but more than likely, oh, it's been good for now, there it is again, and it bugs you for a little while, maybe a few months, and then it goes away for a few months, and then it bugs you again. Then the next question is, if you had a hip replacement, because that's the only surgery that they would do, would it never bug you again, or would it still bother you here and there? I get complications with them sometimes. However, oftentimes people do really well with them and are very happy with the results. It's a somewhat of a quicker recovery, compared to some other surgeries. I mean, you may be walking without a cane or a walker within a couple weeks. That's a
That's
real
what I've
possibility.
heard, that's easier than knee.
Yes, yeah, so that's a definite
Well,
possibility.
now from what you're doing, are you seeing a need? I do hear what you're saying about the pain.
Yeah,
Yeah. But I mean, isn't there a point where you would say, oh yeah, you do need to go do something, or no?
if you're complaining enough and I'm not changing it.
Mm.
So, that's, the question is, what is enough complaining? You know what I mean? And that's a your decision. I can help you walk through the decision, but I don't feel your pain. You know what I mean?
Right.
You're not gonna be stronger because of surgery. It's not gonna give you more energy or anything. It should help the pain. does that mean it's never achy? Some people it's achy for a while, sometimes there's complications, you know, and we have to go back and we have to, you know, they have a hip surgery and later they have this pain right there that's, you know, and then we work on that for a while. There's no guarantee there's no pain ever again, but a lot of people are quite happy. You know, they have the hip surgery, like, oh, I wish I would've done it sooner. So, if it were me, I would probably try it for another 6 weeks or so.
Okay,
And then, because that way, hey, if it gets better, you know, I'm good for a little while. If it's no better, or even just 2% better, you know, in like 6 weeks, I would get an X-ray, and then if, you know, it's not getting better, then what they do is they do an MRI.
okay. And can you write a prescription for that, or a referral?
For the X-ray, I can.
Okay.
Funny Arizona law. I can do the X-ray, and then typically what they'll do, they'll have you see, you know, the surgeon, and then they'll talk to you and say, oh, let's do an MRI, and we can consider surgery.
Okay.
Another option is the cortisone shot.
Mm.
They just put a cortisone shot in there. Some people are pretty happy with those, and sometimes it makes it go away for a while, but still we're in that managing,
Right, right.
you know, stage. But so, you know, some people are like, you know, if I get 3 cortisone shots a year, that's better than having surgery. Some people are like, oh, I have to have more than one, I'm just gonna have the surgery. You know, there's not a right or a wrong, that's a preference question.
Well, so that, not that I wanna have hip surgery, but that is in the equation right now, or no? Would you say it's?
I would say that's in the equation, a
Okay.
hip surgery, but I'd rather take it out of the equation for 6 weeks.
Oh, amen. Yes.
And then if you get 6 weeks, if you don't know, then push it out longer, cause there's no rush.
Mm-hmm,
You know, the only rush is sometimes people say, man, I wish I'd have done that sooner.
right.
But then I also have people that say, I wish I wouldn't have done that. You know what I mean? And so I always say, if you don't know that you want to investigate that option, wait until you know. That way, you're not frustrated. My job is to give you the least chance of being frustrated as possible and the most chance of being happy.
Are there more people who regret knee surgery than hip surgery?
No, similar.
Mm.
Most people do well with both of them.
Oh,
Knee is tougher recovery, where hip is just quicker, but long term, people are pretty happy with both of them.
mm-hmm,
Now I see both sides of it where they're not as happy.
mm-hmm.
I probably see a little bit more unhappy knee surgeries
Yeah.
later. But in general, people are pretty happy with where they get to.
No, I don't want surgery,
Right.
I fear it.
Most people don't want it. The question is, if it's gonna give you a big boon, it's like, wow, I'm sure glad I did that. You
Yeah.
wanna do it. The question is it gonna be enough of improvement? You know, and it
Mhm.
depends on how much it's bugging you now. So that's where, from what you're telling me, I would give it 6 weeks before we revisit the
Okay.
conversation.
Okay,
And in 6 weeks, we may say, let's give it another 6 weeks or 2 months or 6 months. You know, that's a total
Okay.
possibility. And sometimes we do that and we just decide, you know what, I'm doing pretty good, I never need it. Or, you know, you come back a year later and you say, you know, it's been really bugging me later, I'm tired of this up and down, I wanna go look at it. So,
okay,
yeah, those are all possibilities, and if there was a crystal ball, I would use it for you.
yes.